Hello there, and welcome to the Sleepy Science Channel. Tonight, we'll be discovering something both invisible and endlessly gentle, the quiet magic of magnetism. If you enjoy these quiet journeys, I invite you to like, subscribe, or share a thought below. It helps others find their way here too. One sleepy soul at a time. For now, just breathe. Let your eyes grow heavy, and let the hum of the universe soften around you. Imagine for a moment that everything around you, every grain of sand, every sigh of wind carries a whisper of attraction, an unseen pull, a soft conversation between particles. It's happening now, even as you listen. Somewhere, deep beneath your bed, inside the core of our planet, molten metals swirl like thick golden tides. And as they move, they create a field, a silent guardian, that wraps around Earth like an invisible blanket. You've lived inside this field your entire life. You've never seen it, but it has always known you. Magnetism. It is one of those mysteries that feels both cosmic and intimate. It holds galaxies in place, and somehow also pins a note to your refrigerator door. It aligns the compass needle that sailors once trusted in the middle of the night, and it dances in the sky as green auroras, shimmering curtains woven by the Earth's magnetic breath. The story of magnetism begins not with a machine or a lab, but with the quiet minerals of the Earth. Long before we understood its secrets, the planet itself was already whispering about it. In stones, in lightning, and in the way birds always seemed to find their way home. Close your eyes for a moment and imagine yourself walking along a shoreline at dusk. The air is cool, the sand soft beneath your feet. You pick up a dark stone, smooth and slightly heavy. You hold it to another, and somehow they cling. No words, no glue, no reason, just a subtle connection, an unseen thread between them. That was the first language of magnetism. A silent yes from the universe, long before we had the words to describe it. For thousands of years, humanity walked past magnetic stones without understanding them. To the ancient Greeks, these rocks were gifts from a region called Magnesia. To the Chinese, they were lodestones, living stones that pointed always north. And to the Norse, they were small pieces of the god's armor, still humming with divine energy. We gave them names and myths because we sensed something sacred in them. Something about magnetism felt alive, as if the stones themselves remembered the stars. Even now, when you hold a magnet in your hand, you can feel that same ancient presence. A push, a pull, an invisible pressure, like a heartbeat between objects. And if you slow your thoughts enough, it almost feels like you can hear it. A low hum, deep and steady, like the earth breathing beneath you. You might not realize it, but your body is part of this magnetic story too. The iron in your blood once came from stars that exploded billions of years ago. When you rest, when your heart beats, those tiny particles of iron still respond, ever so slightly, to the Earth's field. In some quiet, cosmic way, you are literally aligned with the planet. So as you listen tonight, imagine this. You are floating gently in that field, suspended between the Earth's slow rotation and the starlit sky. Magnetism doesn't ask for your attention. It simply is. It connects. It guides. It protects. And like sleep itself, it works in silence. All around you, tiny magnetic domains spin, twist, and a line, each one a microscopic compass, dancing to the rhythm of unseen currents. The world we know, the technology we love, even the dreams we record in electrical impulses, they all owe something to this quiet force. But tonight isn't about technology. It's about listening. It's about noticing that even the stillness around you is never truly still. There's always movement, soft, circular, magnetic. And if you listen closely enough, you might even sense it, that gentle hum in your bones, a reminder that the universe itself is quietly alive. Take another slow breath in and exhale. Let your body grow heavier. Let gravity hold you, while magnetism connects you to everything that remains unseen. Tonight, we'll drift deeper into this invisible realm. We'll follow it from the molten heart of the planet to the smallest particles of our cells. We'll discover how magnetism shaped history, life, and even the colors of the night sky. But for now, let's stay here, in this moment of stillness, in this quiet magnetic field, between waking and sleep. You're safe here. You're part of the story. And the story has just begun. Before we knew the word magnetism, it was already there, waiting, breathing in the dark veins of the earth. It is one of nature's oldest languages, the pull and push written into the very stones beneath our feet. Long before compasses or equations, the planet itself became a magnet. When Earth was young, it was a molten ocean of metals, iron, and nickel swirling in endless fire. As the world cooled, something beautiful happened. The heavy metals sank inward, forming a spinning heart. That spinning heart, the core, began to hum. And from that hum, the Earth's magnetic field was born. You can picture it now. Rivers of liquid iron, flowing beneath mountains and oceans. Each current of molten metal twisting like a slow-motion storm. Together, they form the geodynamo, a quiet symphony of motion and heat. It is this endless dance that powers the magnetic shield surrounding our planet. That shield is the reason your compass has meaning. It is the reason solar winds do not strip away our skies. Without it, the auroras would fade, the air would thin, and life as we know it would unravel like smoke. Every creature on Earth lives under that invisible protection. Every bird that migrates, every whale that swims across entire oceans, feels the soft pull of the planet's field, guiding them home. Magnetism began as a cosmic inheritance. Before Earth even existed, magnetic fields were sculpting the newborn universe. In the vast emptiness of space, tiny dust grains floated, each touched by invisible forces. These forces drew the grains together, forming threads of attraction. Those threads became clouds. The clouds became stars. And in the hearts of those stars, iron was forged. When those stars died, exploding into supernovae, they scattered magnetic seeds across the cosmos. Those seeds, tiny particles of iron, drifted through space until gravity pulled them into forming our young planet. So every piece of iron you've ever touched, every nail, every compass, even the iron in your blood, was born in the collapse of a star. That's the first truth of magnetism. It is not merely a force, it is a memory. A memory of how the universe came together. Let's drift closer to the surface now. Imagine volcanic rocks forming at the edge of an ancient sea. As the molten lava cools, tiny crystals of magnetite freeze in place. Each one aligns itself with the magnetic field of that exact moment in time. They are like millions of tiny compasses locked in stone. When scientists read those rocks today, they can see how the Earth's field has changed, flipped, wandered, reversed. North and south have traded places many times. Every few 100,000 years, the magnetic poles begin to drift, and the whole planet quietly turns its invisible compass inside out. Imagine that. A planet so vast, yet its magnetic soul still breathes and changes. No explosion, no chaos, just a slow and gentle turning, the pulse of time itself. At the human scale, we discovered magnetism again and again. Each discovery was like remembering something we had always known. Ancient shepherds noticed how certain stones clung to metal. Chinese scholars shaped those stones into floating needles that pointed north. Greek philosophers wondered why the stones seemed to breathe. They didn't know it yet, but magnetism is woven into the very structure of matter. Every atom acts like a tiny magnet. Inside each one, electrons spin, not like planets around a sun, but like tiny dancers twirling around themselves. Those spins create miniature magnetic fields. And when billions of them align in harmony, we get what we call a magnet. Think of it so small you can't see it, yet so perfectly ordered. The smallest motions in the universe, creating forces strong enough to move worlds. If you could see magnetic fields with your eyes, you would never again call the world empty. They would look like shimmering rivers of light, rising and falling between objects. Around every magnet, invisible lines curve gracefully, leaving the North Pole and looping back into the South. These are not real lines, but patterns of influence, ways energy arranges itself in space. The space between things is not silent. It hums with motion, a low vibration, linking every particle to every other. The more you notice it, the more the idea of emptiness fades. The air around you, the room you're in, is full of invisible order. Take a slow breath. You are breathing through the Earth's magnetic field right now. Every heartbeat, every blink of thought, happens inside that gentle ocean of invisible threads. And somewhere far beneath your feet, that molten core still turns, still generating its protective song, still whispering through the stones you walk upon. The origin of magnetism is not just a scientific tale. It's the story of motion becoming memory, of heat becoming harmony, of chaos shaping calm. And when you fall asleep tonight, remember this. The same forces that align the poles of the Earth also hum quietly within you. For as long as we have walked the Earth, humanity has been drawn to the quiet mysteries that pull at the edge of understanding. And among them, magnetism has always been one of the gentlest. A force that doesn't shout, but simply invites us closer. The first people to notice it didn't need equations. They had only their senses, their hands, their eyes, their wonder. Imagine a shepherd in ancient Greece, long before cities rose. He carries a simple staff capped with iron. One day, as he rests by a rocky hill, his staff clings stubbornly to the stones beside him. No glue, no trick, just a quiet pull, like the earth itself whispering, "Come here." That place would later be called Magnesia, and the stone's magnetite would give this mystery its name. To the shepherd, it was magic. To the philosophers who followed, it was divine. And to us, it became the beginning of science. Across the world, in the ancient valleys of China, another discovery was unfolding. Scholars had noticed that slivers of magnetized iron, when floated in water, always pointed the same way. They called it the south-pointing needle. It was not just a tool, it was a marvel. It aligned with something unseen yet dependable, as though the earth had an invisible breath that guided the needle's dance. For centuries, it was used to harmonize architecture, to plan journeys, to balance the sacred with the natural. Long before ships crossed oceans, the Chinese understood that the world itself was gently guiding their hand. When the compass finally found its way to the west, it became a traveler's star. Sailors, lost in fog and darkness, could now find their way home by trusting not the sky, but the invisible pole beneath their ships. It was as if the earth itself had become a map. Human curiosity never sleeps. As centuries passed, magnetism became both a mystery and a companion. In the 16th century, an English physician named William Gilbert began to ask questions no one else had dared. He took a small sphere of magnetized stone, a torella, he called it, and noticed that a compass needle moved around it in the same way it moved around the earth. From that, he proposed something radical. The earth itself is a giant magnet. It was a simple, breathtaking thought, and it changed everything. Gilbert's work became a foundation for understanding not just magnetism, but the very connection between the heavens and the earth. He imagined the planet as alive with invisible forces, its field stretching out like soft arms into the dark. His book, De Magnete, written in 1600, was more than a scientific text. It was a love letter to curiosity, to the joy of finding pattern in the unseen. Then came the spark. In the early 1800s, a Danish physicist named Hans Christian Ørsted stood before his students, demonstrating a simple experiment with a compass and a wire. When he let electricity flow through the wire, the compass needle twitched, as if startled awake. That tiny movement changed the world. It revealed that electricity and magnetism were not separate at all. They were two sides of the same invisible dance. From that moment, our understanding of nature began to merge. Fields and forces, light and energy, all intertwined like a woven fabric. A few decades later, Michael Faraday picked up that thread. He wound coils of wire, spun magnets through them, and watched currents appear where none had been before. He saw electricity, born from motion magnetism, transformed into power. It was Faraday who gave us the foundation for every motor, every generator, every quiet hum of civilization we hear today. But even in their laboratories, there was still wonder. Faraday described magnetic lines as curves of force, not equations, but shapes, almost alive, flowing through space. He believed the universe was woven together by invisible threads of energy. He was right, and his vision would inspire James Clerk Maxwell, who gave those threads their mathematics, who showed for the first time that light itself is an electromagnetic wave. Imagine that. Every sunrise, every candle flame, every glimmer in the night sky, all of it carried by the same forces that once pulled a shepherd's staff to a stone in Magnesia. There is something deeply human about our relationship with magnetism. It has guided our feet, our ships, our thoughts. It has shown us that the world speaks, even when it seems silent. We learned that invisible does not mean absent, and that every force, no matter how quiet, leaves a trace of itself in the heart that seeks to understand. Sometimes, when you hold a small magnet in your hand, you can feel what generations before us must have felt. That subtle resistance, the push and pull. It's as though the universe is reminding you that connection is real, even when it can't be seen. Now, as you rest, imagine the long thread of discovery winding through time. From the shepherd, to the scholar, to the scientist, to you. All of us, touched by the same invisible force. All of us, following the same quiet curiosity. Humanity didn't just learn about magnetism. It remembered it. It felt it in the bones, in the stars, in the stillness between breaths. The next time you feel the hum of a phone in your hand, or the gentle pull of a compass needle, remember that this, too, is a conversation with the cosmos. A reminder that even our smallest inventions echo ancient forces. If you step outside and listen carefully enough, you can almost feel it, the soft hum that runs beneath the noise of life. It isn't wind, or heartbeat, or breath. It's something quieter still. It's the field that cradles us all, the invisible rhythm of magnetism, woven through every living thing. For a long time, we believed that magnetism belonged only to stones and machines, to compasses and coils. But slowly, we began to notice that nature, too, listens to the same silent force. Picture a robin in the morning light. It tilts its head to the air, wings quivering, eyes bright with purpose. When it takes flight, it isn't guessing its direction. Inside its tiny skull, special molecules react to the Earth's magnetic field, allowing it to see invisible patterns in the sky. To the robin, north is not a word. It's a shimmer, a faint curtain of light guiding its way home. Scientists call this the magnetoreception sense, a hidden compass found in many creatures. Turtles feel it through the iron particles in their skin. Whales navigate entire oceans by its whispers. Even humble bacteria, deep in the mud, align their tiny bodies to magnetic lines like iron filings in a lab dish. Each creature, in its own way, dances to the pulse of the planet. And though we rarely think about it, we do too. There is iron in your blood. It travels inside the hemoglobin of your red cells, carrying oxygen through every part of you. That iron was forged in stars long before your body was born. And now, within you, it still responds faintly, subtly to the same magnetic field that shaped it. Your heart beats with electrical impulses. Your brain fires with waves of energy that ripple in magnetic patterns. Every thought, every dream, every flicker of imagination is an electromagnetic event, a constellation forming and fading behind your eyes. The very act of being alive is a quiet interaction with invisible fields. Life does not just exist within magnetism. It depends on it. The oceans, too, follow magnetic patterns. Deep currents trace paths along the planet's field lines, carrying warmth and life between hemispheres. Whales sing across these currents, their songs traveling for hundreds of miles, guided by something we cannot see. Somewhere in the Pacific, a sea turtle begins her migration, not by sight or smell, but by memory written in magnetic signatures. When she returns, years later, to the very beach where she was born, it is because she has followed that invisible map across the world. It is hard not to find poetry in that. The earth, in its quiet generosity, leaves every creature a thread to follow home. Even plants, rooted and still, respond to magnetic fields. The direction of seed growth, the subtle alignment of stems, the way roots twist toward unseen sources of balance. These are all whispers of magnetism at work. Some researchers believe that magnetism may even influence our circadian rhythms, the way we wake and sleep in harmony with the planet. When the field changes, so too might the chemistry of our rest. It's as if every cell carries a tiny compass of its own, keeping time with the slow turning of the earth. For centuries, people have sensed this connection intuitively. In folklore, magnetism was often described as the breath of the planet, a flow of unseen energy that keeps the world alive. Sailors spoke of the compass needle as though it were enchanted. Healers once placed lodestones on the skin, believing they could draw out illness or restore balance. Though the science has changed, the feeling remains that something unseen connects us all, that there is a deeper order beneath the chaos of the world. Modern science now reveals what ancient intuition always suspected, that magnetism is not an external visitor, but a companion, a thread that runs through the tapestry of life itself. If you were to look at the Earth from space, you'd see shimmering auroras at the poles, where magnetic fields meet the breath of the solar wind. Each green and violet ribbon is a sign of that unseen shield, protecting us from radiation, shaping the climate, and creating beauty even in the coldest darkness. The same magnetic field that guides birds and whales also paints the sky. It is both a guardian and an artist, both practical and poetic. And within your body, the same patterns echo in miniature. Your neurons fire, tiny electrical storms that ripple through the darkness of your mind. Those waves produce their own magnetic fields, subtle but real, flickering like small auroras within the human brain. The boundary between you and the world begins to blur. Perhaps there is no boundary at all, only a shared vibration, a single field, breathing through countless forms. Take a slow breath. Let it travel through you, as if the air itself carries a current of light. Somewhere deep within your chest, iron whispers to the earth, remembering the stars that gave it birth. You are part of that same story, a living continuation of cosmic magnetism, shaped by the same forces that sculpt galaxies. Every time you move your hand, every time your heart beats, you create a small magnetic field of your own. You are, quite literally, surrounded by your own quiet halo of energy. And so, in a very real sense, magnetism is not out there. It's within you. It is your pulse, your warmth, your place in the great order of motion. When you think of it that way, magnetism stops being just a scientific curiosity. It becomes something sacred, a reminder that the same invisible bonds that hold atoms together also hold us together. There is something mesmerizing about the way the universe organizes itself. Even in its silence, there are rhythms, patterns hidden beneath the surface of things. And magnetism, perhaps more than any other force, reveals how beauty and order are born from the invisible. If you could see magnetic fields, you would live in a world of graceful shapes, lines flowing like rivers of light, curving and weaving between poles, forming loops, spirals, and elegant symmetries. Everywhere they go, they create structure, guiding particles, shaping motion, balancing chaos. But these lines are not truly lines. They are relationships, connections between places in space. Everywhere a field exists, the world hums softly with its geometry. The universe, it seems, is not built of matter alone, but of relationships, unseen threads that link everything to everything else. Long ago, when scientists first sprinkled iron filings around magnets, they were astonished to see patterns bloom, perfect arcs, like frozen waves. Those tiny fragments were not creating the field, they were revealing it, showing what had always been there. Each curve, each arc, was a portrait of invisible order, a hidden architecture drawn in dust and silence. In those patterns, you can glimpse something almost spiritual. The way energy takes form, the way motion finds harmony, the way the unseen becomes visible, if only for a moment. Even today, when you look at the aurora dancing across polar skies, you are seeing magnetic lines made visible by light. The green, the violet, the shimmering curtains, they are the same shapes that once appeared around a simple bar magnet in a quiet classroom. From the smallest lab to the vast edge of the atmosphere, the pattern repeats. It is fractal, infinite, and endlessly patient. There are mysteries within these patterns too. The Earth's magnetic poles, for instance, are not fixed. They wander, slowly, unpredictably, as if the planet's heart is restlessly turning in its sleep. Sometimes, after hundreds of thousands of years, the poles even reverse. North becomes south. South becomes north. The great field flickers, fades, rebuilds itself, and life continues, unbroken. We can see those reversals recorded in ancient rocks, each layer a page of magnetic memory. It is a story written across the ocean floors, a geological heartbeat of the planet's long life. No one fully knows why it happens. Perhaps the molten core flows in new directions. Perhaps the balance of heat and motion shifts. But there is something deeply poetic about it, that even the Earth must, from time to time, turn itself inside out, only to find equilibrium again. And it isn't only the Earth. Magnetism reaches out into the cosmos, shaping galaxies and stars. In the swirling arms of the Milky Way, magnetic fields twist with the gas and dust, guiding the birth of new suns, even black holes. The most mysterious objects we know are surrounded by magnetic jets that stretch across light years. In these cosmic structures, we find the same hidden geometry: spirals, loops, symmetry within chaos. From the smallest atom to the largest galaxy, the pattern holds. It is as though magnetism is a quiet language that the universe whispers to itself, an ongoing conversation between matter and motion. If you close your eyes now, you might imagine those patterns not as distant or abstract, but as part of you. Your brain, your heart, your cells, all produce faint magnetic fields that interact and overlap. You are surrounded by invisible shapes of your own making, a personal field, a gentle halo. Perhaps this is why human beings have always been drawn to symmetry, to balance, to flow. Somewhere deep in our biology, we recognize those patterns as familiar, as home. There is another mystery that still humbles scientists. How exactly animals sense magnetic fields? The robin, the turtle, the whale, they navigate with astonishing precision. But the exact mechanism is still not entirely known. Some believe that tiny crystals of magnetite act as biological compasses. Others think that special proteins in the eyes respond to magnetic fields by altering how light is perceived. It might even be both. a combination of physics and perception so subtle that it blurs the line between sense and instinct. Imagine seeing magnetic fields as faint glows around the horizon, or feeling them as gentle pressure, or hearing them as a deep hum in your bones. To those creatures, the invisible is simply another kind of light. Magnetism reminds us that mystery is not the absence of understanding. It is the presence of wonder. We know how it behaves, and yet it never ceases to surprise us. There are still questions we can't quite answer. Why do some materials stay magnetized while others forget? What makes one atom align and another resist? And what deeper unity ties all these forces together? Every time we think we have reached the end of explanation, the universe opens another door. Quietly, patiently, beautifully. There's a lesson in that rhythm, a kind of wisdom written into nature itself. Even the strongest fields fade and renew. Even the most stable patterns shift and evolve. And yet, the harmony remains. Perhaps that is what magnetism teaches best. That balance is not stillness, but continuous motion. The art of staying true while everything changes. Look around your room. The light touching your walls. The current in your phone. The pulse in your chest. Each is a different verse of the same universal song. Magnetism is not just a phenomenon to be studied. It is a presence to be felt, a gentle pulse beneath everything, quiet, patient, eternal. There's a quiet wisdom hidden inside every magnetic field, a lesson written not in words, but in the way invisible forces choose connection over chaos. When you hold two magnets near each other, you can feel the tension, that invisible conversation between attraction and resistance. It is a dialogue of balance. Not all things are meant to come together. Some are meant to keep their distance, to hold space between them. And even that space hums with meaning. In this, magnetism mirrors life itself. Every person you meet, every moment you live, carries its own polarity. Some pull you closer, others push you away. Neither is wrong. Each one teaches you about who you are and about the field you carry within. The universe, it seems, is not built on sameness, but on harmony between opposites. North and south, light and dark, stillness and motion, breath in and breath out. When one side grows too strong, the other waits patiently, ready to restore the balance once more. If you think about it, magnetism is a story of patience. It never forces, it simply is. Its influence stretches quietly across space, touching, guiding, without ever needing to be seen. There's comfort in that, a reminder that you don't need to shout to have power. You don't need to be loud to leave a mark. Sometimes, the softest forces shape the world the most. Like kindness, like gravity, like love, each invisible, each immeasurable, each profoundly real. As scientists measure the strength of magnetic fields, they often describe them with arrows, lines of direction, of purpose. And maybe life is not so different. We each have our own arrows, our own orientation toward meaning. When we lose it, we drift. But when we find something that aligns with us, a dream, a calling, a person, there's a quiet click, a sense of belonging that needs no explanation. That moment of alignment feels almost magnetic, as if something deep within us, has turned toward a hidden north. In the heart of the earth, liquid iron moves in great, swirling patterns. Each motion generates the magnetic field that keeps us safe from cosmic storms. It is chaos turned to harmony, a dance between heat and motion that protects all life above it. Our own hearts, too, generate fields, tiny compared to the planets, but large enough to be felt by those near us. When two people stand close, their heartbeats and magnetic fields can synchronize for just a moment, as if the body remembers what connection truly means. It is a quiet proof that we are not separate. We are part of the same field, woven into the same invisible web of influence and care. There is something deeply humbling about that thought. To realize that we live within forces that existed long before us and will continue long after. Your life, your choices, your moments of gravity and grace, they all ripple outward, touching others in ways you may never see. Just like a magnetic field, your presence has shape and strength, even in silence. You are not static. You are a moving pattern of energy, shifting, influencing, aligning. You change the world simply by being here. Sometimes, it helps to think of difficult moments like magnetic turbulence, temporary distortions in the field. They are not failures. They are fluctuations. And as the currents of time and choice settle, your field finds balance again. That is the beauty of nature's design. Every disturbance eventually leads back to harmony. Even in your own thoughts, there are magnetic rhythms. Your neurons fire, sending tiny electric pulses, and each one generates a delicate magnetic wave. Your mind, your very consciousness, is woven from these quiet oscillations. So even your awareness is a kind of field, a space of motion, of resonance, where ideas and feelings align, just as iron filings align around a magnet. When you rest, when you let your mind drift between wakefulness and sleep, those patterns slow down. Your brain waves lengthen and soften, and the magnetic ripples within you become calm and steady. In that state, you are not separate from the world's fields anymore. You are part of them, breathing in time with the planet, resting in the same frequency as the Earth itself. The Earth's magnetic field pulses very slowly, a rhythm called the Schumann resonance, around 8 beats per second. Some scientists believe that when we are relaxed or meditating, our brains naturally sync to that frequency. It is a quiet communion, a resonance between body and planet. Perhaps that is why peace feels so familiar, because on some level, it is literally in tune with home. Magnetism teaches us something else too, that polarity is not division. Opposites don't destroy each other, they complete each other. North needs south. Light defines shadow. Every push creates space for a pull. The world thrives on these pairs. On contrast, tension, equilibrium. And so do we. Without challenge, there is no growth. Without distance, there is no longing. Without resistance, there is no strength. In the gentle magnetism of life, every force we feel, love, loss, attraction, repulsion, is part of one grand pattern, seeking balance. So tonight, as you lie here in this field of quiet sound and story, let yourself be drawn to stillness. Feel the invisible lines around you, the pull of gravity below, the hum of magnetism above, and somewhere between them, the steady rhythm of your own heart. You are aligned. You are balanced. You are safe. The same forces that hold the stars in place are at work within you, steady, patient, eternal. In the next part, we will drift beyond reflection, into the pure experience of calm, into that dreamlike place where motion slows and the invisible becomes peace itself. There, we will let the field carry us, gently, into quiet wonder. Imagine now that everything has slowed. The world outside fades into a distant hush, a soft blur of sound and time. You are floating, weightless, somewhere between thought and sleep. The last traces of wakefulness linger at the edge of your mind, like the glow of a candle after it's been blown out. And in that faint, trembling light, the story of magnetism continues, no longer in science, but in sensation. You are drifting through a space made of soft currents, a sea of invisible threads. Each one hums gently, a pulse of quiet energy that glides around you. They are not trying to move you. They are simply guiding. Like waves beneath a boat, they carry you effortlessly forward, slowly, surely, toward stillness. Your body feels heavier, but your mind feels lighter, as if the magnetic field of the earth has cupped its hands around you, cradling you close, whispering, "Rest now, you are aligned." The space around you glows faintly, not with color, but with warmth. If peace had a texture, it would feel like this: soft as fog, cool as moonlight, steady as breath. Somewhere in this space, iron particles dance slowly, turning like gentle snowflakes, each one aligning perfectly with the field that passes through them. They don't think. They don't choose. They simply trust the pull. And you, too, can trust that pull. You do not need to guide this moment. You do not need to hold on. You can simply drift, floating through this quiet field of invisible harmony. A deep calm spreads through your chest. Your heartbeat slows, each beat syncing with the rhythm of the earth below you. Thump, pause, thump, pause. The pulse of your heart and the planet's magnetic breath become one long exhale of stillness. It feels as though your whole being has melted into the space around you, as though you've become part of the field itself. Far beneath you, the molten heart of the earth continues to turn. Its liquid iron swirls in massive, lazy spirals, creating the invisible shell that protects every living thing. And from that distant motion, a wave of quiet safety travels upward, through oceans and mountains and air, until it reaches you. It is the softest embrace imaginable, a comfort that has no words, just warmth, just stillness, just home. As you drift deeper, the space begins to shimmer, not brightly, but in gentle tones, auroras of thought, painting the inside of your mind. They move like silk in slow motion, green and violet waves, folding over one another, weaving through the magnetic lines that stretch endlessly through the sky. You are inside that aurora now. Each flicker of color is a breath of the planet, each glow a sign of its living heart. And as the colors dance, you feel their rhythm echo quietly through you. There's no direction here, No up or down, only flow. You are a compass needle, released into open air, free to turn, to spin, to find balance on your own. The field hums softly around you, a lullaby made of silence and light. You cannot see its source, but you can feel it. A calm intelligence, ancient and gentle, that seems to know. You have always belonged here. The field does not pull. It invites. It does not demand. It waits. And when you are ready, it opens, welcoming you deeper into the dream. Somewhere, far above, the stars turn. Each one, a sun wrapped in its own magnetic halo. Each one connected, thread by thread, through the cosmic field. Even across millions of light years, their influence touches, a whisper of attraction that never fades. And in that grand network of invisible lines, you are not separate. You are one luminous node in the infinite fabric of connection. Your thoughts, your heartbeat, your quiet breathing, they all ripple outward, in harmony with the stars. Imagine now that the air around you has turned to silver mist. Every breath you take glows softly, as if the magnetic field itself is exhaling through you. Inhale and feel it fill your chest. That ancient current, older than time, slipping gently through your veins. Exhale and release everything you've carried. All the static, all the noise. You are left with nothing. But this rhythm, soft, slow, and endlessly kind. The magnetic field, the aurora, the silent stars, they begin to fade now, not away, but inward, becoming part of you. The universe is closing its eyes, and so are you. In this moment, you are not observing magnetism. You are it, a quiet field of alignment, a breath made of gravity and grace, a small piece of forever at rest. The current holds you, the darkness soothes you, and every invisible thread of energy sways in perfect balance. You are safe. You are still. You are home. When you are ready, you can let yourself drift, just a little deeper. There's nothing left to learn now, only to feel, only to rest. Let the field carry you, the rest of the way down, to that soft, endless place, where thought dissolves and peace begins. There comes a moment in every journey toward rest when even the smallest sound seems to fold itself into quiet. This is that moment. The field that once hummed around you has softened into a low murmur, a vibration you can no longer hear, but can still feel somewhere beneath your heartbeat. Everything is slower now. Everything is light. You are lying inside the magnetic hush of the world. A gentle stillness presses around you, like the ocean holding a pearl. Above, the sky no longer glows. It merely breathes, wide and calm. The auroras that once danced have dimmed to memory. The threads of force, the spinning atoms, the quiet iron at the planet's heart, they all move in rhythm, but you no longer need to follow them. You have become part of that rhythm. It lives inside you now. There is a peace that comes when everything aligns, not perfectly, but naturally. When effort ends and being is enough. That is where you are now. The magnetic field of the earth still stretches beyond you, curling through oceans, around mountains, through air and cloud and night. But within this circle of silence, it holds you gently, like a child asleep, in the arms of something infinite. Try, if you can, to feel the shape of stillness, not its edges, but its warmth. It isn't empty. It isn't nothing. It's full, overflowing, with everything that no longer needs to move. Silence isn't absence. It's the quiet presence of everything that has found its place. Somewhere in the dark, a faint current continues to move, not rushing, not roaring, just turning. Perhaps it is the liquid iron, still flowing at the earth's core. Perhaps it is the steady rhythm of your own heart. Or perhaps they are the same. It's hard to tell now, where one ends and the other begins. Because this is the point where separation dissolves, where everything connects, without need, without sound, without words. The stars are no longer distant. They shimmer faintly behind your closed eyes, as if the universe itself has come closer to whisper good night. You might imagine for a moment that the cosmos has a pulse, a single beat, a deep, slow inhale of creation itself. And within that breath, you rest, suspended in the same field that holds the galaxies together, still, silent, unbroken. The soft current of magnetism that once carried you through oceans of thought is almost still now. Its movement so gentle, so balanced, that it no longer feels like motion at all. Only presence, only peace. You are floating, not in a place, but in a feeling, that endless, wordless calm that lives between atoms, between breaths, between every rise and fall of life. You have reached the place where the field sleeps. Here, the pull of the earth and the quiet of the sky meet in a perfect hush. There is no direction here, no north, no south, only the steady heartbeat of existence itself. It is soft, it is kind, it is enough. You may sense, faintly, a shimmer of thought, like the memory of a dream, beginning to fade. It's all right to let it go. The story has done its work. It has led you here, to this exact, gentle stillness. The facts, the science, the imagery, they were only footsteps, leading you toward this silence. This is where the real lesson of magnetism lies. Not in attraction, not in polarity, but in peace. The peace that lives when everything finds its place. Take one last deep breath. Inhale, and feel the weight of the world below you. Exhale, and feel the field carry you upward, light as a sigh, soft as dusk. The world is still turning, but you don't have to keep up anymore. You can rest, you can let go. Far beneath the surface, the earth continues its slow, molten song. Far above, the stars continue to hum their silver tunes. Between them, you, a quiet listener, a small field of calm, rest in perfect balance. The same current, that shapes the galaxies, moves gently through you. It asks nothing. It gives everything. It simply is. And so are you. Now the field grows softer still. The hum fades to a whisper. The whisper fades to breath. And even breath becomes silence. That is the sound of the world asleep. That is the sound of everything at peace. Good night.